Hello, darkness, humanity's oldest fear, the symbol of the unknown. For thousands of years, people lit their nights only with the stars in the sky and the red glow of fire. But over time, light became more than a need. It became a symbol of civilization's progress. From torches to oil lamps, from gas lanterns to the electric bulb, this journey is, in truth, humanity's story of defying the dark. Each new source of light illuminated not only the night, but also thought, art, science, and social life. And today, with lasers, fiber optics, and quantum technologies, light is no longer just what helps us see. It is the greatest key we possess to understand the universe. Light, born from fire. The first sources of illumination. Humanity's first great struggle against the darkness of night was not truly against nature, but against the unknown that hid within it. For thousands of years, the setting sun marked the moment when life itself seemed to pause. Loss of sight, loss of direction, vulnerability to predators. All these threats came alive with the arrival of night. What changed this fate was one of the most defining breakthroughs in all of history: the discovery of fire. The control of fire, achieved by Homo erectus, stands as one of the earliest technological triumphs of humankind. Yet fire was far more than a tool for cooking or warmth. As a source of light, it transformed the rhythm of day and night into something human. From the Paleolithic age onward, the fires kept burning at the entrances of caves were not only for safety, they were the centers of social life. In the heart of darkness, a single flame became a gathering point. Stories, rituals, and plans for the hunt were all born around this circle of light. The desire to make this vital glow stable and portable led humanity toward the first primitive lamps. Archaeological evidence reveals that as early as 70,000 years ago, people were using stone lamps carved from rock or bone, filled with animal fat, especially from seals, bears, or deer. Light, in those early days, was inseparable from hunting and nourishment. Its continuity depended on how much oil nature could provide. The wicks, often made from fibrous plants, moss, or dry grasses, gave off a trembling, smoky, and faint light. But even that was enough to reclaim a few hours of night. This fragile window of brightness soon took on deeper meaning. Indeed, many prehistoric cave paintings were made by the glow of these small lamps. Analyses in the Lascaux and Chauvet caves reveal soot from ancient lamps, proof that light was not only practical, but also the carrier of art and thought. Torches, made from resinous wood, were the first true portable lights, used for hunting at night, exploring caves, or during ceremonial processions. They also held symbolic weight. The torchbearer was often seen as a leader, a protector of the group. In the end, fire was not merely a spark that tore through darkness. It was the first window of consciousness opened by the human mind into the night. The earliest sources of light allowed humanity not only to see its surroundings, but to begin to see itself. Long before it became a matter of technology, illumination was already the sign of a profound cultural and cognitive awakening. The light of oil. Lamps in ancient civilizations. The second great leap in the history of illumination came after humankind learned to control fire, when it became portable, efficient, and long-lasting. This transformation expanded the meaning of light, not only in the struggle against darkness, but also in architecture, religion, daily life, and art. And the symbol of this transformation was the oil lamp, widely used throughout the ancient world. The earliest examples appeared in Mesopotamia and later spread to civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, and Rome. These lamps worked on a simple principle. A hollowed-out stone, clay, or metal vessel was filled with olive oil or animal fat, and when a wick was dipped in and lit, it produced a steady, relatively smokeless flame. This system was durable and required little fuel, making it the most common and accessible form of lighting in the ancient world. Yet these lamps were not merely functional objects. They carried aesthetic and symbolic meanings as well. In ancient Greece, oil lamps illuminated both homes and temples, while in Rome, wealthy families displayed ornate bronze lamps decorated with mythological scenes. In Egypt, during rituals devoted to the sun god Ra, lamps symbolized divine light and the eternal cycle of day and night. Thus, the lamp was not only a tool, but also a ritual instrument imbued with spiritual value. The types of oils used varied across regions. In the Mediterranean basin, olive oil was favored for its clean burn and availability, while in northern areas, animal fats and even whale oil from marine sources were preferred. The wicks were crafted from flax, cotton, or papyrus fibers, and artisans developed skillful techniques to maintain a steady flame. Over time, the design of oil lamps evolved. Early open-mouthed bowls were gradually replaced by covered lamps, with special spouts for the wick, which protected the flame from wind and allowed more directional lighting. The Romans even introduced wall-mounted and hanging lamps suspended from chains, bringing new possibilities to interior illumination. The oil lamp also became a symbol of knowledge and learning. In antiquity, libraries and the studies of philosophers were kept alight by these lamps. As every page read, and every thought written in the darkness was nourished by their glow. Indeed, many ancient texts use the phrase "to follow the light" to signify the pursuit of wisdom and enlightenment. In essence, the oil lamp was far more than a simple object. It embodied both the practical need for light and the deeper human quest for meaning. During this era, light itself became not only a tool, but a bearer of culture, faith, and intellect. The light of the Middle Ages, candles, and their symbolic meanings. Following the lamplit culture of the ancient world, the Middle Ages carried the legacy of illumination into a new dimension, one defined by religion, feudalism, and ritual. During this period, the candle emerged as the most significant source of light. Yet, in the Middle Ages, the candle was not merely an object to dispel darkness. It became a theological metaphor, and a marker of social hierarchy. In the early centuries, candles were primarily made from animal fat, especially tallow derived from beef and mutton. These tallow candles were inexpensive, but produced an unpleasant odor and thick smoke, making them common among peasants and lower classes. By contrast, the upper classes and the church favored candles made from beeswax, cleaner burning, fragrant, and considerably more costly. Thus, the type of candle burning in a household revealed its social and economic status. A flame of beeswax signified privilege. Within churches, the candle transcended practicality to embody sacred meaning. In Christian liturgy, every burning candle symbolized the illuminating Word of God and the light of Christ. Candles lit before the icons of saints became an integral part of prayer rituals. In grand cathedrals, where thousands of candles illuminated vast interiors, light was sanctified, merging theology with architecture. Here, illumination was no longer a physical phenomenon alone. It became a manifestation of the divine. By the 13th century, candle production had evolved into an organized craft. Guilds dedicated to candle making began to appear across European cities, overseeing both technical expertise and market control. Outside ecclesiastical contexts, candles adorned the halls of feudal manors, castles, and the homes of high-ranking officials, serving as visible emblems of status and refinement. Yet, despite its prestige, candle use in ordinary households remained limited. Daily routines largely followed the rhythm of sunlight, and activities ceased when darkness fell. Candles were reserved for special occasions or significant moments, their light a symbol of rarity rather than routine. The candle's ritual and symbolic presence extended beyond Christianity. In Jewish tradition, the lighting of Sabbath candles sanctified the beginning of sacred time. In Islamic culture, the lamps and candles of holy nights carried spiritual significance. Across faiths, light stood as a universal expression of reverence and continuity, a bridge between cultures through the shared symbolism of illumination. Ultimately, in the Middle Ages, light evolved from a mere necessity into a profound medium of expression. The candle became not the product of material craftsmanship, but a vessel of social order and spiritual meaning. Its flickering flame illuminated not only the chambers of stone cathedrals, but the very mindset of an era. The age of gas lamps. When cities met the night. From the late 18th century onward, humanity began to drift away from a life bound to the rhythms of nature. One of the clearest signs of this shift was that night was no longer synonymous with darkness. With the arrival of gas lamps, cities forged a new relationship with the night. Darkness was no longer destiny. It became a realm that could be transformed. First introduced experimentally in England during the 1790s, gas lighting became possible through the production of coal gas. This gas was obtained by heating coal in central plants and then distributed through pipelines to street lamps, theaters, and homes. In 1807, Pall Mall Street in London became the first public road illuminated by gas lamps, marking the moment when a city street could be safely used after sunset. It was a turning point, a milestone in the transformation of urban life. Gas lamps did more than illuminate spaces. They altered humanity's perception of time itself. Work schedules, shop hours, and social gatherings, once confined to daylight, now extended into the night. The very concept of nightlife was born in this era. Theaters stayed open late, factories introduced shift systems, and people began to feel that they had mastered time. For the first time, light became a direct instrument of economic productivity. But progress had its price. Gas lighting systems produced high heat, emitted soot and smoke, and depleted oxygen in enclosed spaces. For that reason, despite their revolutionary impact, gas lamps were used sparingly in homes. They were most common in public buildings, industrial facilities, large halls, and along city streets, making gaslight an essential element of modern urban architecture. This period also marked a new chapter in city planning. Streets were reorganized with rows of lampposts, dark corners disappeared, and public safety improved. The organization of urban illumination was not just a matter of comfort. It became a tool of public order and state supervision. The city, once veiled in darkness, could now be observed and controlled even at night. Thus, the gas lamp stood as both a technological innovation and a socio-political instrument. Across social classes, gaslight revealed striking contrasts. Brightly lit streets symbolized the growing prosperity of the middle class, while illuminated theaters and restaurants reflected the rise of the bourgeois lifestyle. Meanwhile, the working class encountered gaslight in the long hours of factory shifts. For them, light was both an opportunity and a mechanism of control. In the end, the gas lamp was far more than an invention. It was a symbol of modernity itself. With its spread, the night ceased to belong to mystery and became the domain of production, leisure, and surveillance. And with that, humanity entered an age where time and space could be shaped by human hands. The spark of electricity, the invention and revolution of the light bulb. The second half of the 19th century witnessed one of the most profound transformations in human history, the arrival of electricity in everyday life. And the most symbolic representation of this revolution was the invention of the light bulb. Yet this small glowing object was not merely the product of Edison's genius. It was the culmination of decades of experiments, failures, and fierce scientific competition. The story of the light bulb begins in 1800, when Alessandro Volta invented the first electric battery. 2 years later, in 1802, the English scientist Humphrey Davy produced light by passing an electric current through a thin, metal wire, creating the first electric illumination in history. However, these early arc lamps were extremely bright, short-lived, and difficult to control. They were far from suitable for use in homes. Over the following decades, many inventors sought to produce a more stable and practical light source. In 1835, the Scottish inventor James Bowman Lindsay demonstrated a device capable of producing continuous light, though it was never commercialized. In 1841, Frederick de Moulins patented a carbon filament lamp under vacuum. 4 years later, American inventor John W. Starr developed a bulb using carbonized paper filaments. But his untimely death halted his progress. Another key figure, the English inventor Joseph Swan, began experimenting with carbon filament bulbs in the 1860s. Early attempts failed due to vacuum problems, but by 1878, he successfully demonstrated his design. Working simultaneously with Edison, Swan entered a patent dispute with him, which ended in 1883 when they formed a joint company to combine their efforts. Then came Thomas Edison's decisive breakthrough in 1879. Using a carbonized bamboo filament, Edison created a bulb that produced a steady, long-lasting light using minimal energy. His true genius, however, lay in his vision. He did not treat the light bulb as an isolated invention, but as part of a complete system. He designed power stations, wired distribution networks, wall switches, and user-friendly fixtures, transforming illumination into a public utility. In 1882, he launched the Pearl Street Station in New York, the world's first modern electric power distribution system. This was not merely a technological achievement, it marked a new chapter in urban life, consumer culture, and humanity's control of time. The light bulb soon transformed not only streets and public spaces, but private homes as well. Compared to the smoky, hazardous gas lamps of the past, electric light was clean, safe, and easy to manage. Its introduction into domestic life redefined humanity's relationship with time itself. Night was no longer a void reserved for rest. It became a realm for reading, productivity, and social life. This revolution also gave birth to an entire industry. Edison's company evolved into General Electric, and electric lighting spread into schools, hospitals, workplaces, and theaters. The light bulb became one of the invisible foundations of industrial and post-industrial civilization. Light, in this new form, reshaped culture itself. It revolutionized stage performance, cinema, photography, and advertising, making illumination not just a tool of visibility, but a medium of emotion, storytelling, and aesthetics. In the end, the light bulb was not simply a technical invention, it was the emblem of modernity. Edison's achievement revealed the collective nature of knowledge and the power of system thinking. Electricity was no longer just a phenomenon of physics, it had become the very lifeblood of civilization.